am going to record this session, and the session is getting recorded now. So today our agenda of discussion that we are going to discuss what all is there in list tuples and dictionary, and what all methods and functions are available with list tuple and dictionary, and what all work we can do with list tuple and dictionary. You must went through the previous videos which I have uploaded on my YouTube channel as well as on school YouTube link, that is more on SQL. So you must have done with that. And have you done those videos or still pending?
Yes, sir, complete done.
Like almost done or still pending those videos? Like sorry, you have done. And what about you, Sonika? Have you done or not? Akriti, have you done? I think there's some problem with audio. Are you getting my audio?
Yes, sir.
Sonika, are you getting my audio, Akriti?
Sir, I am getting.
Sorry, you are not audible to me. Please increase your mic volume. Please increase your system volume. Okay, fine. Am I audible to you clearly? So let's move ahead. Today we are going to discuss these three topics. That is what all is there in list, tuple and dictionary. So let's discuss about. Okay, fine, right. Okay, so what is a list? Any idea, any clue about this? What is a list? Just try to figure out what is a list. Any reply from your side, Akriti? Sonika, what is a list? Yes, is there any reply? Okay, fine. So if we talk about a list, it's a, you can say, a sequence type data type which is available in Python, as it is similar like a string. But if we talk about list, list can have a combination of heterogeneous data type. For example, like as it is given over here, few points are mentioned. I have mentioned in my PPT that in a string we have only character, but a list consists of data of multiple data types. For example, that is, if you want to create a list, so it is not a restriction as like a string, because in a string what you can do, you can keep only homogeneous data type. So let's move to our code window. Here what I am doing is I am just declaring a list a equals to, and I'm just passing any value to it. Okay, any value to it, that is hello. So what is this a refers to? This a is actually meant for, if you are going to check the type of a, what you will get, it is belonging to the class string, because this all these value which you have provided into a are considered as character set value. Okay, now what I can do is, if I talk about a list, so what I can do is in list, say suppose if I am declaring a list, and in this if I am passing certain values, for example 10 and then 20.5, and then say suppose hello. So likewise I have made a list, and if I am going to check the data type of L, this will return me that this belongs to a class list. Now the core difference between a string and a list is that a string always takes a character type value. If you want to make a sequence of values in character type, then what you need to do, you need to first declare it as a string. But if you want to make a sequence of heterogeneous data type value, as I made over here, like I have declared my first value as 10, then second value as 20.5, and the third value as hello. So I have provided all data type almost all data type value to my list, which is have the very first value is of what type, like integer type, then second value is of what type, it's of floating point type, and third value is of your string type. So while I am testing the data type of this L variable which I have declared so far, it is showing me that it's a class list variable. Now, what all are the advantages of the list? But before moving ahead, I would like to ask you, is there any question, concern in what is a list and what is, how it is different from a string? Is there any doubt? Please do let me know.
No, sir.
Akriti, Sonika, Shaurya, is there any doubt, question, concern? Please do let me know.
No, sir.
No, sir.
No from Shaurya side. Akriti,
No, sir. It's clear.
Sonika, okay, beta, you can reply me on chat because your voice is not that much audible. I think your mobile or PC volume is quite low. If you can increase it, then you'll be audible to me, beta. Okay, perfect. Sonika, Sonika, Akriti, I'm waiting for your reply. Or should I move ahead? Am I audible, beta? Okay, right. And what about you, Sonika? My screen is visible to you? Okay, fine. So let's move ahead. Please clear your drawing. Now, if I talk about this part, so it's an order set of value enclosed in a square bracket. While I talk about a list, as you already know, that all the values in a list are very much ordered and the index are provided to all the values. So what we can do is, let's I'm just drawing a list type object. So I'm just taking it, and in which I am just drawing several blocks. Now, if, as you are already aware, if I'm going to just index, provide index, so this index will be 0, and the index of this particular block will be 1, and the index of this particular block will be 2. This is from a forward direction. While I'll go to I'll move from this direction, I'll move to this direction, then the index will always start from 0, and you can keep heterogeneous data type value into it, as we have created a list over here. So I have provided 10 to my first block, and then 20.5 to my second block, and what hello, your hello to my third block. So likewise, the values are kept into these blocks and the indexing is done. And this is the method of doing indexing, that how the indexing is getting done in a list. But if I'm going to do, backward indexing, the backward indexing will be as follows. The index will always start from -1 and will go till -3. So this is how the backward indexing is getting done of a list, right? So it's a order set of value. If you are talking about that whether my values are kept into a order in my computer memory, yes, all the values will be kept into a order. As you can see, the order are already maintained and the values are kept inside it, and we can use index in a square bracket, right? So these index can be used in a square bracket if you want to access any specific elements of a list. So let's talk about, if I want to know that what is there at 0th index of my list, it will return me 10 because 10 is lying at the 0th index of my list. So far, if you gonna check that what is there at -3 index of your list, so it is 10 because you have now traversed your list in backward direction, right? Now, there is another exclusive feature of list as far as the list is concerned, that all the elements are mutable. The list is providing you an exclusive feature of mutability, as you can see over here. Yeah, that means the value which you have put into a list can be muted later, but in a string, is it possible? I would like to know from you, Akriti, that in a string, is it possible to mute the value if I want to just, change the value at the index of 0th index in my string, and in place of this small h, I want to keep uh, capital H. So is it possible? Value can be changed or not in a string? Oh, all right. So that means if I'm writing this statement, then my statement is very much correct. Right, Akriti? That means I am initializing, I'm changing this capital H. I'm initializing this capital H to 0th index of my string. And here's my string. As you can see, I want to change the value over here. In place of H, I want to keep capital H. Okay, fine. So let's check it. If I am going to check this particular statement, if I am going to execute this particular statement, it is giving me an error. And why it is giving me an error? And if you are gonna read the error, it will be showing you that string object does not support item assignment. That means once the string is declared, cannot be muted. I hope you must be getting. But in a list, there is no limitation. There's no such limitation with the list. Like for example, if you want to change the value of any index, for example, if I want to initialize anything, for example, I want to initialize ram in at the 0th index in my list, so it will be perfectly running. There's no problem. Okay, so if I'm gonna print my list, so what I'll get that now my list is very much perfectly updated. The first value is now changed from what 0 I mean the 10 to ram, and rest of the values are same. Is there any doubt, question, concern in the topic which we have covered so far? Please do let me know. Everyone. Sonika, is there any doubt, question, concern? Beta, please revert me on chat window. Shaurya, is there any doubt, question, concern? So far, so good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Sonika,
No
please
doubt.
revert. Sonika, I'm not understanding whether my connection is very much clear to you or not. Is there any problem? Do I need to check? Right. So list index work the same way as a string index. For example, what does it mean? That as the memory mapping of list values are getting done, in the same way string values are also getting done. For example, as you have declared that list, if you remember that string by the name A, in which you have passed the value, uh, in which you have just pass the value hello. So the same way,
Pooja karo.
this hello, the same way all the values are kept, okay, in the computer memory. So if I talk about that how a string is getting mapped in my computer memory, it is like H and then E, then L, and then your again L, and then your O. So each and every character will be kept in my computer memory likewise, right? And the indexing will get done similar, okay? The indexing will get done similar as it was getting done into the list, okay? So likewise, the values are getting uploaded into the, values are getting uploaded into the computer memory, and while you are declaring the data type of a variable as a string. Okay. So while I talk about that an integer value expression can be used as index, if you want to check that what is the value at particular index, and integer variable can be there as the index of your list or string. You cannot make this index instead of 0 as A, or then this index can be, you cannot make this index as B, then C, then D, then E. It should be numerical value. It should be numerical value. Okay. Now an index error appears, and when this index error appears, when you are trying to access some value which is not lying in the that particular index. For example, my this string is lying till starting from index 0. It is starting from index 0 and going till, it is starting from index, this is my index 0, and then index 1, and then your index 2, and then your index 3, and then your index 4. Now if you want to access any element which is lying in index number 5, so it will throw an index error, because you are trying to access that element which does not exist in the list. So you can say it will give you index error like list index out of range. Now talking about index, that an index can have a negative value. In that case, counting happens from the end of the list, right? If you are going to pass a negative value, like say suppose if I am gonna pass in my this Python compiler, as you can see, all the values are given, very much clearly there in my list. If I'm gonna say that please print me all the values starting from index -1 and to -3, so it will, it is giving me like blank. So let me check whether all the values are there in my list or not. So print, okay, let me close this, and let me clear my drawing. If I'm going to check that print, and if I'm going to print L, it is showing me, yeah, all the values are there in my list. And if I am going to check that list starting from index -3, index -3, so print, it is printing me Ram, And if I am going to print like L, and I want to see that starting from this to minus 3. So likewise it is showing me empty list, and if I'm going to see that list and then minus 3 and colon, so it is giving me the list that what all values are lying inside my list. So whenever we are going to access our list with the corresponding to index, it is returning me the values whatsoever values are lying within my list. Okay, so whenever we are doing negative counting, the counting is taking place from backward direction. Is there any doubt, question concerning the slide so far?
No, sir.
Akriti, Sonika. Okay, Sonika, no, sir. Akriti, okay, fine. Now, this is how a list is created. We have some examples over here. Let me hide this bar. So we have created a list of numbers in which all 4 integers are passed on. Then thereafter, what we have done, we have created a list of characters, and in which 3 string elements are there. And here we have created an empty list, and here we have created a mixed list, right? That you can do so easily, and you all are very much sound in this. Now, example of list, as you can see that a list of these elements are created. For example, as you can see that there's a list with the following variables like xyz 456 2.23 pnb 70.2. Now we have created another list by name tiny list. It's a small list we have created, and name we have given by our own. So this list is having values 1 to 3 hmb. And if I'm going to print list, it will print me what? It will print me a complete list, that what all values are there in my list. Now if I'm going to access that what is the element at first index of my list, of course it will return me xyz. And if I'm gonna print that list 1 column 3, so it will return me the second and third element, like the element which are lying at the index of 1 and 2. So index access will always go to what, up to what extent, that is less than 1. If I'm gonna print that print list 2 column, so that means starting from index number 2 until last, and it will return me all the elements whatsoever are lying within the list. And when I talk about print tiny list multiply by 2, what will happen, what will it do? It will just duplicate the list twice, and if I'm gonna add both the list, it will concatenate both the list. Okay, so let's just write this kind of code on your code window and understand the difference. Okay, so here I am I already have the list. So let's print L, and thereafter if I'm gonna create another list by the name like tiny list, and tal equals to, and I'm just passing the value into it like uh, a make sure that if it is string type or character type, value should be quoted in inverted comma, then 20.3 and then 6. So this is your another list. If you are printing like print, if you are printing print what, like L plus TL, L plus TL, the result will be that both the list will get concatenated. That means right after all the element of list L, the element of list TL will be added, right? Now if you want to access like uh, say suppose if you want to access a TL, and I want to access what elements are there starting from index 0, not 0 actually, I'm writing 1. By default it is 0 to 2. So it will return me all the elements which is lying on index 1. So on index 1, 20.5 is there. As I have mentioned index 2 over here, so it will never go to index number 2. It always move to less than 1, index less than 1. Now what if I'm gonna see that what is there at index your TL, and say suppose if you are going to say colon and then 3. So starting from 0 till index number 3, what all values are lying, it will return you the same values. As you can see, these values are lying at your list. Okay, so uh, if you want to check that what all values are like lying from index number, particular index position, if you want to pass like TL and then 1 column and you are saying that 6, and it will give you that all the values starting from index number 2 till last index, no matters whether you have passed greater index over here, no matters whether you have passed greater index, which index is not there in the limit of your list. So it will give you till the last index, it will return you all the values. Okay, so if I talk about this particular slide, likewise it will given me, if I want to access a particular element, I can pass on the index of that particular element. If I want to access multiple elements, then I can do slicing of the list by using this method. Okay, if you are not going to pass anything before this column, that means it should start from the beginning. And if you are not going to pass anything right after this column, that means the list should traverse till end. If you gonna pass any larger index, it will read the list till end. Okay, now if you want to concatenate the list, that means two lists as you have concatenated over here, the concatenation can be done. If you want to replicate the list, the replication can also be done. For example, L multiplied by 2. So as you can see, the replication of the list is also done. The replication of my list is also done over here. So far so good. Is there any doubt, question, concern in this particular concept? Please ask. Shaurya, Sonika, Akriti. Okay, Shaurya, no sir. Akriti, no sir. Okay, right. Okay, fine. So let's move ahead to a new concept. Guys, at last, if you can, just turn on your video, because I need to click a picture. Yesterday, Abba ma'am was asking, so that, uh, like there may be some kind of protocol she want to follow. So I need to take a picture at last, right? So please turn on your video. Okay, at last. Okay, fine. So let's move to the another concept. Perfect, Shaurya. Okay, great. Where's Akriti and Sonika? Okay, hi. Perfect, Akriti. And where's Soni? You have to just turn on the video by clicking on this link here, start video. So you can, just start the video. Now let's talk about the concept of traversing a list. How can you traverse a list? As you are already aware, the method of traversing a list by using while loop. So here I have just mentioned a code, very simple, in which I have created a list of numbers in which I have provided all the values starting from 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I have just initialized this I equals to 0. And why I have initialized I need your attention over here, Sonika and Akriti. This is for you. Okay, here we are going to just understand the basic concept, how we are traversing the value in a list. Okay, so let's go to our compiler. So as I have created a list of numbers by the name L, and I'm passing the value to it, L equals to 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And right after this, I'm initializing another variable I equals to 0, and this is my iteration variable, which is going to iterate throughout the list, which is going to iterate throughout the list, which is going to read what all values are there in my list. So if, and what I am doing, like while I'm just writing that while I is less than 4, this loop should be continue till my I is smaller than 4. And right after this, if I am going to do like print what all value is lying at the index of li, what does it means? That initially I is 0, which is less than 4, and it will access the element which is lying at index 0 by writing this concept. What I am doing here, L I, where I will refer to the index of your list, and L is denoting your list. Okay, and then right after this, I am doing what I plus equals to 1. I am just updating the index, and while I'm running this code, it is giving me this particular result. It is giving me all the values. And how it is giving me all the values, let's try to execute it. Here I is 0. Here I is 0. Is 0 less than 4? Yes. Yes. Then print the value is there at the index 0 in your list, L0. It will return you 1. Of course, 1 is there at your 0th index. And then the value of I will get updated. I will, get updated to 1. Then again, is 1 is less than 4? Of course, it is less than 4. And the same system, like same concept will be followed. Same protocol will be followed. Is that clear to you, Akriti and Sonika? If you do have any doubt, please ask. Okay. Yes. Clear to you, Akriti? Pakka? Sonika? Okay. Clear to you how the list is getting traversed? Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So let's move to the slide. And this is how we can just traverse a list. And this is another method of traversing a list by using for loop. And by using for loop, what is happening, that whatever is lying within the range, like let's come to your code window, and if I want to traverse the same list by using for loop, like for I in and what I in L, so it will directly return me all the values which are lying in L, and by default I will start iterating from very first index. By default I will start iterating from very first index. So I'm writing print and I'm writing L, so it will return me all the values like I and L, so it will return me the complete list throughout. Okay, and if I'm gonna say that for I in range, for I in range, and you are just passing L, for I in range L, and you want to print that all the values which are lying at the index of L and I. Now understand the difference between both the code. So list object cannot be interpreted as integer. Okay, now let's understand why this error is coming. Is there anyone who can help me to get rid of this error? For I in range, and you are saying I in range L, and then colon, and then you are saying that print L and then I. Why this error is coming out? Akriti, earlier you have traversed a list and you have just check all the values which are lying within your list. Sonika, Shaurya, why this error is coming out? Shaurya, Sonika, Akriti, please read both the code and why this error is coming out. Here's the code. For I in L and then print L, it is giving me my list 4 times because it will be continuing to the index 4 times. And then in the same very way that for I in range L, if I am going to just print that what all values are there in my list. So Shaurya, what is the error? Akriti, what is the error?
Sir, in the list, the fourth index is not present. That is why the error is coming.
Yeah. And what about Shaurya? What about Shaurya? Shaurya, I'm waiting for your reply. Yeah, okay, perfect. So guys, let's wait here for 5 minutes. I'm just pausing the class for 5 minutes, and right after 5 minutes we'll continue. So don't forget, it should not be more than 5 minutes. Right after 5 minutes you have to come back, okay? And try to recapitulate each and everything, take in your mind. I'm pausing recording, okay? Thank you. Now let's understand, as we have discussed this all part, and I have to clear my drawing, right? So this is how we can traverse our list by using a for loop. Now there's another concept, as you can see over here, that is what I have done, that I have created a list of numbers, and by using for loop I have done that for I in L, and then I'm printing I. So all the values are there in L. Every time I will retrieve to each and every value, and it will return me this one, and then thereafter 2, then thereafter 3 and 4 and 5 and so on. Okay, so let's go to your code window, and instead of this for I in and L, and then thereafter if you are printing your I, if you are printing your I, it will return you what? 1 2 3 4 in a sequence. If you are printing L, in place of this it will return you entire list every time, because what is there in L, the continuity of L is 4, so 4 times it has printed you the entire list, as in the previous result, as you can see over here. Because what I have mentioned over here, I have mentioned that print L. So initially I will be 0 and it will print you the entire list. Then thereafter I will be 1, it will print you again entire list. because L is the entire list, not the single value of your list. Okay, so far so good. It must be clear to you all. Is there any doubt, question, concern into it? That why this I is printing each and every element of list? Because I is retrieving each and every element of your list. Okay, now let's move to the next slide. This is another example in which what has done, the slicing of the list is done. Okay, as you can see, this is a list of 5 elements in which I have just kept 1, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And if I'm going to print this L1 column 4, that means this is your index 0, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, and this is 4. So of course it will start from 1 and go to index number 3. So that's why it will return you the sublist 20, 30, 40. Is this clear to you all? It is similar to class 11th as we have studied in class 11th. Then talking about next, as we can see, I have mentioned that print list starting from index number 3 till end. So starting from index number 3, this is your index 0, then 1, then 2, and then index 3. Start from index 3 and go to last index. And what last index is there? What value is there at last index? Is 50. That's why it is returning you 40 and 50. Clear? Now this next concept is showing you that print L, the value from the list, is starting from the very beginning index, but the index is not passed. So by default, it is index 0. Starting from index 0 till index 3. So let's go to index 0. The value at index 0 is 10. Then index 1, then index 2. So 3 will never get considered. It will always take less than 3. So that means the value will return 10, 20, 30. Of course, it is returning you 10, 20, 30. The slicing is getting done in that way. Getting my point? Now, what has happened over here? Print the list start from index 0, go till index number 5 and take every second element. Now if I talk about my list, this is my index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 5, there is no value at index 5. So what it will do, it will jump every second value. It will start from index 0, then jump to the second value 30, then jump to the second value 50. If I would have mentioned over here 4, that means it will read your list till 40. Your answer will get vary. आपका आंसर यहाँ पर vary कर जाता. So in this way, I am getting 10, 30, and 50 as the result, because the value at index 0 is 10, the value at index 2 is 30, and the value at index last is your 50. So every time it is jumping 2 steps and retrieving all the values whatever are lying within your list. Is there any doubt, question, concern in this? Please write. If clear, then please write yes. Because slicing is quite important part, and in your board examination you will get most of the question from slicing part. Slicing and your slicing and your looping part. ठीक है? तो सबसे ज़्यादा क्वेश्चन बोर्ड में वहां से फॉर्म होते हैं. And the weightage of this question review Python basic is 11 marks in your board examination. 11 नंबर का इसमें से आएगा ही आएगा. Okay, so please understand these concepts very thoroughly, because our ultimate objective to score good marks in our subject. ठीक है, हमें हमेशा अच्छे marks score करने हैं. Now moving towards very next slide. Let me take mouse cursor and see, this is how to add an element at the end of a list. So it must be clear to you all, append method is there. Now by using append method, what you can do, you can add the element at the end of the list. For example, this is your example code. First I have declared a list, and if I want to append any value at the end of the list, like l dot append, and I want to append what? I want to append 5. So it will append 5 in my L, and if I'm gonna print L, so it will return me 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Is this clear to you all? These methods always get asked in your board examination. Hamisha, like they'll give you an error code, or they'll give you some kind of tricky questions that how can we add value at the end of the list, right? Clear to you all? So far so good. By this method, you can add one element at the end. But if you want to add more than one element at the end of the list, then what you can do is you can use extend method. So here's a method named as extend. If you want to add another list, for example, I have created li. So what I can do is l dot extend. That means l dot extend. Please extend l and add all the value of li into it. And if I'm going to print l, then it will return me that the initial value of l, and thereafter the value of what? Li. Likewise, as you can see, and what we have done by using li, what we have done, we have just created a list, a sub list of starting by using range function, which is having values from 0 to 5. That is 0 to 5, that means 0 to 4. It always go till and last minus 1. So all the values which are lying in this range are getting extended to my existing list. Is there any doubt, question, concern in these two methods? Please, Akriti, Sonika, Shaurya, give me a quick reply. Okay, Shaurya, no from Shaurya side. No doubt from Sonika side. Akriti, no. Okay, perfect. So let's move ahead to the next concept. After extend method, we have, pop, delete, and remove function. Now, what is the purpose of for removing an element from a list? What we can use? We can use pop or delete method, and this is a always viva question. Your examiner will always ask you what is the difference between pop function and what pop function and delete function, and what is how these pop, delete, and remove function get used with the list. So let's understand it. If the index is known, we can use pop function or delete function if the index is known. And if you don't know the index, you can use remove function, right? To remove more than one element, delete with the list slice can be used. For example, let's understand. There is an example of pop function. I was having a list of 5 numbers in which 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 were kept. If I want to pop, if I'm writing the l dot pop, it will return me the last element from the index. Matlab, from it will return me the last element. It will pop out. That means this 50 will no more remain in the list. Then thereafter, if I'm writing what I want to just find out, I want to take out an element at particular index. If I'm writing l dot pop 1, then it will return you 20. It will pop out 20. अगर आप index pass करते हैं, for example, let's go to your code window, and if you are writing l dot pop function, and you are simply pressing L, so you can see the element which was there at the last was 4. So if you are going to print L, then 4 will no more there at the end of the list, right? But if you want to take out this particular 0, then L dot pop, pass the index, and I'm passing the index and what is the index that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I want to remove 0 out of my list, then L dot pop 5. So it is returning me 0, and if I'm going to print L, then there is no 0 at, there is nothing at this fifth index. The list is now updated. Okay, if you want to just, if you want to remove any value from the list, for example, I want to remove 4 from the list, then L dot remove, and I want to remove 4, then it will return me the list that 4 is no more there in my list. It will return me that L to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 1, 2, 3. These are the elements there in my list. Okay, we are going to see L, say L dot delete, or if you are going to see, I mean say delete, and then thereafter L, then L will not be existing no more. There is no list. You have deleted the entire list. Just to delete entire list, you can use delete function. Just to pop out each and every single element from the list, you can use pop function. And just to remove when index of the value is not known, if you want to remove any element by the name from a list, then you can use remove function. Okay, so let's take a quick review. If the index is known, we can use pop or delete method, and with delete method you can pass on the index as well. That li 1 index or 2 index, you can delete the value from a particular index. But if you want to remove any element by the name, you can use a remove function. And if you are going to use like delete, and then in this you can just pass, if you are going to pass list slice, like list first element list, second element it will delete particular element. If you are going to pass L, then it will delete entire list and release the memory from it. For example, as you can see, I have declared another list in which the value was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and if I'm writing the delete L2 colon 5, like starting from second index, that is 3, until index 4, 5, like 3, 4 will get deleted from the list, and the result will be like 3, 4, 5. Using the range, it will delete the value from my list. Okay. Okay, fine. Remove function. Let's say I'm creating a list of range starting from 1 to 11. That means a list of 10 values will get created. Oh, sorry. Li equals to range starting from 1 comma 11. Will start from 1, and then if I'm saying that print, if you will print Li, your list is perfectly created. Yes, your list is perfectly created. And if you want to remove any element, like I'm just printing L, is there any value at L? No value at L. Let's create another list L equals to, and I'm just passing 10 comma 20 comma 30 comma 40 or 100 comma 200 likewise. And if I'm saying that L dot extend, and right after this I am extending Li to it, then I'm printing what? I'm printing L. So it is returning me the list, right? And if I want to remove any particular element, I don't know the index. If I want to remove 200, so I'll simply write L dot remove, and I'm just passing 200. Please remove 200 from my list. And while I'm going to print L, now 200 is perfectly removed. If the index is not known to you, use remove function. If the index is known to you, then for example, if the index is known to you, then use pop function or delete function. So these are the functions which are getting used exclusively to remove an element from the list. So far so good. Is there any doubt, question, concern? Please tell me, is there any doubt, question, concern? Okay. No, sir. Clear? No. Fine. So let's perfect. Move ahead. As you can see, do you want any example of delete function as well? You can practice by your own. If you need any example code of delete function, please do let me know. Right? Yes, if you want an example, if you want execution of this delete function. No, fine, fine. Okay, now let's talk about insert function. This is just to add an element or a group of element, right, into your list. So this insert function will add values, and how the values are getting added in your like list. So as here's a list of numbers, and this L dot insert method that you want to add value at second index, and the value is 25, and this is how your value is getting inserted at a particular index. For example, if I'm saying that L dot insert, and I want to insert 200, for example, at first index, comma 200. And if I'm just printing L, my 200 is back at index number 1. If I'm going to say L and passing L dot insert, and if I want to insert any value like 200 comma 300, so if I'm going to print L, then it will return me that the value which is already available will not come, but 3000 will come at the end. If you wanna add L dot insert, and then if you are passing 5000 and 6000, and if you are printing L, so your values, this value which you are giving, though your index is not existing, this will be coming as index, and the values which you are giving, this 6000 is coming. That means this 200, this first space is reserved for the index, and second space is reserved for the value which you are providing. So you can provide group of value over here. So let's understand the syntax. L dot insert, and if you are going to see that index and the object which you want to insert, right? So that particular object will be inserted at that particular location by using insert method. Okay, cool. Now sort and reverse function. What is the meaning of word sort? Sort means, as you have already studied, this insertion sort and bubble sort. So various sorting method you have already studied. This is the method of arranging the data values in a sequence. So what you can do is you can just arrange your list. You can just arrange your list. For example, the list which is created, I want to sort it. List L dot sort. So what sort function will be doing like L dot sort, just sort it. By default it will sort in ascending order. Well, you will be printing L, your list is now arranged in ascending order, and if you want to just reverse it, then what you can do is L dot sort, and then just pass reverse equals to false. Okay, this is how you can do is reverse equals to false. So your list will be, sorry, this is L dot sort, and you can just pass this reverse. If you want to reverse the list, like if you want to make the order from ascending to descending, and what you can do is reverse equals to false. Okay, then if you're going to print, your list is now in this ascending order. And if you will make this reverse equals to true, then L dot sort, by default it is false, reverse equals to and true, and while you'll be printing it, you'll be getting your list is now arranged in descending order. So this is the method of reversing your list or sorting your list in ascending or descending order. Say suppose if someone wanna ask you that how will you arrange your list in ascending order, so very simple method, sort is available. This L dot sort, your list is sorted in ascending order, and if you wanna change it into descending order, then simply what you can do is you can reverse it into descending order. Okay, so your reverse method is also same. If you want to reverse the list, then what you can do, you can reverse an existing list without providing an error. Now my list is there in an order. If I want to reverse it, then what I can do, L dot reverse, L dot reverse, and enter. So while I'll be printing L, my list is arranged in which order? It's a ascending order. Now it is reverse actually. Now linear search program, as we have done linear search program so many times, I think we need not to discuss. Searching is required to discuss or not, please mention. Sorting we have done. Do I need to make searching program? Please revert me on chat window. Do I need to explain it? Search program, linear search program. Shaurya, Sonika, Akriti. Are you there? Okay, perfect. Sonika, clear to you? Sonika, waiting for your reply. Sonika, am I audible to you? Are you there? So I'm resuming the recording from this part. So here, Sonika, what have I done? That I've created a tuple with these values, and in this tuple, what have I done? That I have just pass on. I have just created another tiny tuple and with these values. Okay, so my first tuple is having 10, hello, and 20.3. My second tuple is having 50, ram, and like so on. So while I am just concatenating both the tuples, yes, it is getting concatenated very perfectly. And if I am storing the concatenation of both the tuple in my third tuple, yes, it is getting done. But if I want to do slicing, yeah, slicing can be done as well. As you can see, starting from index 2 to index 5, the subtuple can be shown over here as a result. If I want to access what is there at index 3, yeah, access can be done, but insertion, appending, and these function cannot be done with the tuple. Okay, so let's move to the slide. Now let's understand what is the difference between list and tuple. It's a sequence. List is a sequence of value of any type, and but this is also a sequence of value of any type. Now values in the list are called items and are indexed. the same are indexed by integers, all values will be same. Now, this is the core difference between list and tuple, that list are mutable data type, but tuples are immutable data type. Okay, now talking about list are enclosed in a square bracket and tuples are enclosed in parentheses. That's all. This is the all difference between list and tuple. Whenever we want to just make our data private or confidential, we'll be using tuple, and whenever we need to make our data accessible and open to all, which can be muted, so we will be using list sequence type. Okay, that's all about tuple. That's all there in the tuple. Now let's talk about this dictionary part. Let's talk about this dictionary part. Are you should I move ahead with this dictionary part, guys? Should I move ahead with dictionary part? Yes, yes from Akriti. Okay. Yes from Shaurya. Sonika. Sonika, are you there, Sonika? Shall I move ahead with dictionary? नहीं वो नहीं आई है तो वही दिया नहीं नहीं वो नहीं वो तो वही है नहीं है हाँ 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 वो तो है ही सोनिका ठीक है जी शाम को बात कर रहा हूँ Okay, fine. So now talking about dictionary, this Python dictionaries are a kind of hash table type. Now, what does hash table? Hash table means like a table which is having two values, and those values are actually interdependent. For example, I would like to, like, this is a list, and this is a hash table in which the values will be categorized like this: keys and values, again keys and values. Okay, so these both values are actually interlink with each other. I would like to mention over here that these values are interlinked with each other. Likewise, that means with the help of this particular key, k key, you can access v value, and with the help of v value you can access k key, right? So likewise you can access the values from dictionary. So Python dictionaries are a kind of hash table type. They work like associative array that consists of key value pairs, right? And this is why we have called it as associative array. Like in array, every value is associated with its index. So in the same way that here values are associated with its key. Dictionaries are enclosed in curly bracket, and values can be assigned and accessed using a square bracket. Like all the values can be, as all the values can be enclosed in curly bracket, and those value can be accessed using a square bracket, right? So now move to our very next slide. So here, these are the common methods of a dictionary which we have used, so far. That is key, value, and items. This key function will return all and iteratable of all keys in the dictionary in the list form. For example, you have created a dictionary, and let me just, and this value will return you value, and item will return you key and value pair in the form of a tuple. Let me show you how this value is getting presented. So this is a dictionary name, and this dictionary is created. If you are printing dictionary, it will of course print you the entire dictionary. But if you are saying that dictionary.keys, it will return you a list of keys. A list of keys. I'm quoting again, a list of keys. All the key will be presented in the form of list. Now talking about value, all the values will be presented in the form of a list. Now talking about dictionary.item, it will return you the tuple type value. For example, let's go to your code window, and I'm creating a dictionary D equals to, and here in this I am passing A as my key, A colon, and I'm just passing 12 comma B colon. Here I'm passing 13 comma C colon, and here I'm passing 14, right? And if I'm saying that print D, so of course this will return me dictionary. If you want to see the type of D, it will tell you what is the data type of D. It belongs to class dictionary. If you want to see that D dot key, you want to check what all keys are there, like D dot, like print. I'm saying print keys. It's not key, it's keys. Print, not in place of print, you can simply write D dot keys, and then it will return you. These are the keys of your dictionary. If you want to insert it somewhere, A equals to D dot keys, okay, and then parenthesis, it will again, and while you will be printing A, it will, while you'll be printing A, it will return you that these are the keys. If you want to check the type of A, then what data type value is there? It is, it belongs to class dictionary keys. So this is a list type element. And now talking about this values, for example, you want to print D dot values, so it is returning you what all values are there in your dictionary, 12, 13, 14. As you can see, the values are your 12, 13, and 14, and the keys are A, B, and C. Now if you want to check what all items are there, D dot items in the dictionary, so it will return you a tuple type, what all items are available in your dictionary, right? So likewise, what you can do is you can check what all key values are available in your dictionary, so we can do it in same way. So far so good. Is there any doubt, question, concern in these three methods of dictionary? Shaurya, Sonika, Akriti, give me a quick reply. Okay, no from Sonika side, no from Akriti side, and no from Shaurya side. Perfect. So let's move ahead. Now, there is a second way of to declare a dictionary. Now, what they have done is, like sound equals to a dictionary, they used a function dictionary. In this, what they have done, they have just passed on like dog, bark, cat, meow, snake, yes. And what I have done over here, that sound dot keys, This will print me all the keys. This is a method of declaring a dictionary. In place of this column, you can just pass on what equals to sign also. Okay, and this will print you key, and the key of dictionary is dog, cat, and snakes, and the values are meow, bark, and hiss. So accordingly, likewise, we can create a dictionary as well. This is another exclusive example of creation of a dictionary, right? Let's move ahead. Talking about next is a few things we already saw on list works seen for dictionary. That is, similarity. As we were doing in the list, we can calculate the length of dictionary as well. Okay, so while you'll be writing like length of dictionary, it will return you that how many number of items there in your dictionary. Next is key in the dictionary, check by using name in dictionary. At key in the dictionary, for example, I would like to show you live. For example, if you want to check that whether a in dictionary, whether a in dictionary, and the name of your dictionary was D. So whether a in dictionary, it will return you like yeah, like for example, I have to enclose it in quotes because these are the values. So let's check whether a in D. True. Yeah, A is existing in D because A is the key of dictionary. In place of this, if I'm writing the 12 in D, yes, it is returning me false because 12 is not the key of dictionary. It's a value of your dictionary, right? So what we can do is we can just print the length of a dictionary, length of D, the dictionary which I have created. It's 3. It is having 3 key values here. Now what I can check that number of keys in dictionary, and there's another method that d dot pop, like key in the D, check if key is there, if key is there in the dictionary. Like print name in dictionary, it will return you the boolean output. It's true or false. If it is true, it will return you true, that this key is existing into the dictionary. If not existing, it will return you false. Now talking about d.pop method, it will pop out any particular value at a key. Just say, for example, d.pop key pops an item out of the dictionary and return it similarly to how list pop method. For example, you're saying that d.pop and you are popping what? The A, and you are inserting this value in somewhere C. So this is your key A, and while you are popping it and while you will be printing C, print C, so it will be returning you 12. The value which was associated with key A was 12, so it has returned me 12 as the output. Okay, and now if I am going to print my dictionary, this key value pair will not exist for a long. So A12 is now removed. Okay, is there any doubt, question, concern in this slide? Please give me a quick reply, because we are now just to wind up this class. No, no, no. Okay, now let's do some recapitulation question here in this class, what we have learned so far. Now the question is, which error message would appear when index is not in list range? Akriti, I want answer from you. Give me quick reply. Index error. Lovely. Very good. And can you explain me this particular error message thoroughly? Quickly. Shaurya, Sonika. Shaurya, Sonika. Shaurya, waiting for your reply. Sonika, waiting for your reply, beta.
Sir,
Yeah, what error message would appear when index is not in list range? Just Akriti have already given me that index error message will come, and whenever the element is not there in the index or required index. So what actually the language of error message? That index out of range, something like that. Yes, index out of range, if I'm not wrong. Okay, good. Yes, list index out of the range. As you can see, the answer is list index out of the range. Okay, so move to next. Find the output of the following code. List is given XYZ 456 2.23 kVA 70.2. Now print a list from starting from 1 column 3, and then print another sublist starting from second to end. Come on, quickly. Give me reply. What will be the output, Sonika? Okay, Sonika is saying 456. Okay, 1 column 3 4 5 6 2.23. Perfect. And what will be the output for this statement? Print list 2 column this. Come on, quickly. Shaurya, I'm not getting any output from you. Shaurya. Okay. Will it give an output in tuple? 2.23 kVA 70.2. Right. This will give starting from second index until end. Okay, fine. Akriti, are you just convincing with both the output? Akriti, have you convinced with both the output? Please revert, please. Why you are not agreeing with first one? From index 1, the index 1 is in first one, yeah, not actually with the first one, will KVS will also come. Okay, right. As you are saying, this is 0 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, KVS will not come. The output will be 4, 5, 6, 2.23. Perfect, Akriti. The output will be 4, 5, 6 and 2.23. Lovely. Applaud for Akriti. And for this second one, the output will be Shaurya. Please check 4, 5, 6 and then 2.23, then KVS, and the entire list will be printed. Very good. Got it, Akriti. Great, great. Applaud for you. Now talking about next. Find the output of following code. Please check the code and give the output. That there is a list L 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 into it, and print 0, 7 and 2, like starting from 0 till index 7, and every second element. What will be the output? My question is there from Sonika and Shaurya, please. Akriti, 20. Akriti is saying, okay, 20, 40, 60. Okay, let's see. Please, try to think again. It's 10, 30, 50, 70. Let's see the output. It's correct. 10, 30, 50, 70. Yes, it's the correct output, Akriti, because it will start from 0th index and take the value from every alternate index. So that's why the output will be 10, 30, 50, 70. Perfect. Okay, no problem. Let's move ahead. What is the difference between a list and tuple? So you all are very much clear with this question, that list is immutable and declared in square bracket, but tuples are immutable and declared in this parenthesis. Now print length of dictionary. There is a dictionary, as you can see. Oh, my mistake. This must not be visible to you. So what is there's a dictionary with key value name RAM code 1234 department KVS. So what will be the length of this dictionary? Akriti, Sonika, Shaurya. Quickly. 3, correct. Sonika. Okay. Shaurya, Akriti. Perfect. So let's move ahead. Right. Let's move ahead. It's 3, correct. Thanks for this entire class. Thank you so much. The recording of this class will be available to you on your on your this link. So please stay tuned and just try to practice these concepts at your home. Stay tuned and wish you all a very happy learning and stay safe. Okay. Thank you so much for being so nice audience throughout. And before ending with the session, I would like to request you just to open up your camera so that I can take a click.